Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome back to HOI4 as we were playing with the provisional Russian government. So in the last episode we finished up the Civil War, achieved victory. However, we won't be able to see the results of that until after we ramp up these nationalist rebellions here in the Komi Republic and in the Republic of Ukraine. One person did note that the Ukrainians have invaded through Crimea and are taking this territory, so I sent 2 divisions over there to stop them. I also changed up some of our commanders here. He's still the same. He's our main field marshal. I like that he's got that infantry leader. He's level 3 as well. Still got him in charge of the White Army. He's our best general, but moved a few generals around so that we actually have generals in place rather than field marshals. With the exception of this one here, I'd like to see him get up to level 2, and he's got some good traits as well. I also moved all our planes and ships around. We'll take a look at that here in a little bit. The first thing we need to do in today's episode is manage our units. So we had a few other designs that I've already gotten rid of. These 2 here have units that need to be changed over, so I changed them over to that look so we can just change them all up here in our units, because they actually have a similar design to our regular infantry. We just want them to have this same design here. We don't need a bunch of different guys, and they're not really all that useful. So let's go ahead and switch them over to our main design. Now there are a couple of designs there that are useful to have. I'll show you guys which ones those are, and we'll make sure that we keep those around. One of them is for our garrisons, which we'll want to change those over to. And that's this one here. I named it Garrison Cab, and it already has the MPs. So that's going to be really nice to have, because we can just go ahead and switch up our Garrison Army, our default one, over to the Garrison Cab here. And we'll see it. We'll use a lot less manpower and production. So we can now get rid of these 2 templates here. I didn't mean to get rid of the one that was in between those. That was actually one that we could have used for like a defensive unit. It had 5 battalions of infantry and then already had the engineer company in there. So that's a shame. I didn't mean to get rid of that one, but I did on accident. Misclick there. But yeah, we got rid of all those unit designs, and we could actually go ahead and start training some more troops. We don't have the Special Forces cap yet to get any more mountain troops. We are still short tanks, so might just get some more infantry, because I think we have plenty of equipment available. So yeah, we'll just get some more of these. Get like 5 more battalions, I suppose. We have a lot of manpower. It's really just a matter of infantry equipment. I'm not entirely sure how we're doing. We got 18,000. But another thing to consider is that we do need to change up our division designs. In fact, experience is going up very slowly. And so let's go and get a new chief of army. We're going to get this Anton Denikin, army drill specialist. Obviously not very good, but he's our only option that we have available. One advantage is he is cheaper when it comes to political power, but because he is crappy, that means he requires more of our command power. So he'll increase our army experience every day, while also decreasing the division training time. But obviously he's not the best chief of army, so we're going to want to eventually get somebody else in there. Once we have one of our commanders that we can promote to that position. He's actually already an advisor. He's our only level 4 guy, so the only one that we could make into an advisor. And he is one of our political advisors that we have available to hire. And then so we'll just have to wait until we get somebody else, because yeah, he's just not the best option. And what we want to do is get enough army experience. I think we need 65 right now because of that one modifier that we have. But we want to switch out of the mass assault doctrine. And so if you see here, I'm not saying we're going to go with the grand battle plan. In fact, we probably won't go with that. But you can see here it would cost 65 experience, since we have the cost reduction bonus from the experience from the border clash in Korea, negative 35%. And so I want to change that up, because remember, that does affect your spirits, you know, which doctrine you have. And so which spirits are available here would be changed once we get a new doctrine. And so I want to make sure that we take a look at all the options that we have available, and we don't have to worry about hiring a theorist to reduce the cost of those army doctrines, because we don't have an army theorist, unfortunately. We do have a lot of options here still available, but none for our army. Also remember, we are getting those penalties still, the Russian Air Force and the Russian Army, so some significant penalties here. But the rest of these are ones that we've gotten from that branch of the tree for the Civil War. Alright, so let's go ahead and continue this conflict here in Ukraine, see if we can't get it wrapped up. So we're going to go and attack over here and over here to stop those guys from advancing. And then let's go ahead and assist with this tank unit. So you can see that the tanks here are having some supply issues. We need to get control of one of these two supply hubs here. So let's go ahead and go after this one then. Actually, we're going to go through here and grab that. You know what? This guy might be able to get there first. I bet he will get over there faster, actually. Maybe we'll go this way instead. We gotta try and make sure we don't get ourselves cut off, though. We got more troops coming over here. Let's actually force this guy to come over this way. And then let's have this unit come over here. So we're ramping up these pockets. That's a lot of our troops. Currently busy. Might be able to get behind the units that are here so they won't be able to escape as we bring some units over there. I remember we also have the situation up here in the north where we are having some supply issues apparently. This is not the greatest place to be fighting. Yeah, this guy's probably not going to win, so let's go and stop that. Instead, defend in the mountains. Far better situation for us. Also losing that battle, so we won't keep it going. Yeah, this could be a little bit difficult for us to advance. What we need to do is just take advantage of any situation where they're not properly defending their territory. No, actually, let's leave this guy here and have this cabinet come over here. So now we'll advance into this territory. Remember, we got a lot of units over here as well, and we should be able to make it to the capital through this direction. Yeah, we're a little bit closer here. Alright, so we got an event about de-Stalinization. The Bolsheviks tried to change the state religion to communism and created a personal cult around its leaders. They even went so far as to rename the cities of Russia. Order must be restored around the empire, and nowhere is more fitting to start with than the old city of Tsaritsyn, renamed Stalingrad. I don't know if I pronounced that right. So it seems that we have two different choices here, and this will determine the names of many cities. So I'm glad they will change the names of these cities. It wouldn't make any sense for, like, you know, not just Stalingrad, but for Leningrad to remain with its current names here, since, you know, we're no longer communists. But there's a ton of names that are going to be changed here, and we have two different options. So it seems that this one here, just kind of looking at it, I think these are the names from actual de-Stalinization. So that was under Nikita Khrushchev. Actually, it seems that's not quite right, because some of these were name changes that happened after the Soviet Union fell. So it's kind of like a combination. Some of them are names like Volgograd, which were during the de-Stalinization period, while other ones are names that didn't happen until the Soviet Union fell. Well, this one here is very clearly renaming it to the old names. Okay, so that's the one we're going to go with. I think that makes the most sense given the direction we're going with the return of the Tsars. But yeah, I'm glad they did rename everything. It would be very, very strange if they didn't. Alright, so let's go and have this unit assist. Well, this guy's going to come over to this frontier. We did get some units over here to stop them. Also got a guy here. Excellent. So now they're stuck in that area. Let's go ahead and have these troops advance across here. We'll take that with this unit here. And then I was going to have this guy take over this, but I don't think that's necessary. I think it would be better to have him instead go this way and just kind of thicken this up a little bit, and also go after these victory points. We need to seize control of those. We can cut off this unit here, these two units. So let's go and do that. And then let's go ahead and go after their capital here. You know what, let's go this way instead. Alright, looking pretty good. And we will go ahead and have, let's see how we want to do this. These guys can come back over to here. Same thing with these guys. Let's bring them all over here. And we'll just assist with this unit. Make sure we don't have anybody coming over to this area, as we just don't need more units there. Still doing this attack here to try and go after that supply hub there. It does look like I messed up with one of these white army units here. Maybe, I don't know if it was that guy, but that's the one we're changing up. Alright, so we knocked out the research for the armored trains. Let's go and research the railway guns next. I wasn't sure if I was going to do that, but yeah, let's go and get it. I mean, that's really what we wanted there. And I suppose we could go ahead and also change these up. We don't really need trains anymore. We have a pretty good number of them. We also have some free military factories. Just take a look, see how we're doing here. We do need to get more artillery guns, quite a bit more actually, because not only do we have to fulfill those shortages that we currently have, but I like to add some more into our units. Alright, so making sure we're holding out in all this territory here and also just advancing wherever we can. And seems that everybody is leaving here. Okay, that's great. We don't want these guys to leave. We need somebody to stick around anyway. They can't all leave. Maybe this guy can take off, but we'll leave this guy here. Yeah, it seems like everybody advanced far away. Bring these guys over here. No, I should be doing it this way. Just a little bit faster. Make sure these guys are all coming over here as well. Alright, so should get Kiev here soon. I don't know if that'll be enough to force their capitulation. Probably not. Though we are doing pretty good advancing towards these victory points. Alright, so now I want to get across here. We'll see if we can defeat this unit. We can. Excellent. Alright, and then he's going to just take all that for us. Well, let's go ahead and take over this territory too. Actually, you know, this guy can go wherever he was going, and let's instead have that cav unit take that. And we now have the American Civil War, the second American Civil War, breaking out between the Confederacy and the United States under FDR. And then you have the unaligned States of America as well. So remember, we have that war going between France and Britain too, so you can kind of see those places where they're fighting here in Africa, India. Probably see some invasions over here. Got the fighting going on in the Caribbean too. And world tension still is only at 30%, surprisingly. You'd think it'd be at much higher given the circumstances. So once we've taken Kiev, we'll take a look and see how close we are towards capitulating them. We're at 93%, so not bad. Should have it done soon, but we'll need to get another win here. And then we might want to make sure that this guy doesn't get himself cut off as we advance down those rails. And attacking across the river, but should be able to win that without too much difficulty. And then let's go ahead and do another front here, so this guy doesn't take off. And we want to go after that location next. And you know what, let's have this guy advance down here so the tank only has to go... Ah, damn. Just to those two provinces there. Alright, so need to wipe out these troops here now that we have some units that have some actual organization. Do some attacks here. Try and get these units wiped out. Not that it really matters that much. How are we doing on casualties so far? We're at 1,929 against Ukraine, while we've killed 98,000. So very good in that regard. And once we get here, we can cut off all these troops here. And we'll advance into this location as well. You can see that they are now aware of the danger they're in, so it's going to do that attack, make sure they can't get out of here. We'll also do this attack here, even though it is across the river. And also take that territory there. And I suppose it doesn't matter that much now because this is just about over. Yeah, they are trying to get out of here now. We're another location where you can see that they're very much exposed to being cut off. Interesting. The United States has declared war on the British Empire. Okay, wow. So are they like lending assistance to the Confederacy or something? I'm not entirely sure what happened there, why they declared war already, but basically the entire world is going to be soon engulfed in conflict. So we can already see how the sides are merging in these conflicts. So I don't know how many more of these we'll have to take. There's not a lot of victory points left. Getting this one here would certainly end the conflict. Let's make sure that we're moving these guys around as well. We'll bring another unit over here to get this taken care of. You know, actually, let's instead go this way and then we'll go over there. And let's go ahead and have this unit go here, he'll go here, and then everybody else that's on this front can come over here. Alright, that looks good. Just get those two locations taken over. I'll grab these ones as well, try and get that unit cut off if possible. It looks like they have been defeated. Alright, so we're just going to want to go ahead and annex all their territory. They don't have a fleet or anything that we need to take. So let's submit our demands and confirm. Alright, so we've defeated Ukraine. Now we can focus on this war here, which we have been neglecting a bit. But I thought it was important to get that one finished up first. Let's go and take this over. And you got all the other issues with this location. All kinds of issues with this location, actually, due to the supply problems. Bring those guys up that way. And I don't know if we want to bring more troops here, simply because of the supply issues. Probably wise to not do so. And as for these guys, I mean, we could probably just like let them stay where they're at. I don't know if they'll take any attrition now. I think they should all be okay if we leave them there for now, just to get this finished up here. Eventually we'll need to like train them up. Let's go and take this if they need it. But yeah, we're not going to worry about that right now, guys. Let's just get this conflict over here done with. And we might want to speed this up just a little bit as well, because these are larger states that take longer to move to. Alright, so we already have a unit advancing over this way, so let's go and grab this province here. We have somebody taking that one over as well. Another war happening. So it seems that Lithuania is now Livonia. They're at war with Poland here, and then the Latvian People's Republic, the communists here, just declared war on them. Maybe hoping to get a little something here before the war finishes, but I don't expect they'll have enough war score to get anything. I think Poland should take that all over. But yeah, often they wind up uniting Lithuania and Poland peacefully. That did not happen in this one. That's generally not the way that goes down. Alright, so moving after their capital now. This guy will go, let me see, we already have somebody going that way, so we'll have this guy go over here. And hopefully this doesn't take too long to finish up. But with the lack of supply, certainly going to be an issue, and the fact that none of these are worth any victory points. And so you kind of got to take over like the majority of their provinces. But we're pretty close. We're 83% currently. That war between Poland and Livonia has finished it up. And it looks like they actually did get a little bit of territory here. Okay, so yeah, Poland didn't get control of everything. I was expecting the Polish to take it all over. They've been fighting that war for a little while now. Alright, so let's go ahead and have... So we got somebody going over that way. We'll go after this location next. And now we just need to wipe out this unit here. And we are, of course, fighting in the winter. And so, as usual, this is more difficult because of that. I want to keep these guys here rather than having them all leave. So let's get them all set up here. And then just get these units destroyed. And we'll have this guy go over here. I know he's attacking across river, but that'll be okay. Just start sending all these guys into these battles, try and get this done. This is getting us more army experience as well as we build up towards 65. So we can get that doctrine changed. But yeah, it doesn't look like we'll have enough before the end of this conflict, because this will be over here in mere moments. We took more casualties than they did, probably because of the fact that we're attacking during the winter into mountainous territory. So they have all the bonuses here. We did finish up that focus, excellent. So we cannot do the next one, rebuild the nation, until we're at peace, but we're very close to doing so. And then you have these ones here. I don't know if this will be necessary at all because of the current situation there. So I don't think we need to do that one. We'll be able to do this one very soon. Allows you to repair those factories much quicker. You get it in 35 days, but I wonder if that would be enough. I mean, we do have a lot of factories that we need to repair here. And you got to get it anyways. So we could wait just a few days so we could get that. There's another option here. This is a 70-day focus. There's also the declaration. That gives you some advisors. So that'd be helpful, but you got to have the political power to hire them. But this one here will grant us political power and stability. And this is how we return the Tsar to power. And the provisional Russian government will be recognized by the international community. And so it's important one for the route that we're going. So we need to get that done. But yeah, it's a 70-day focus. Now remember, we have a lot of other stuff we got to do. You know, we have to improve the situation with our Air Force and our Army. And then of course, we need to make sure we get these ones here, since it did not count the Soviet Union as a major power, which is good. And so if we want to be able to do these, you got to do it before you go to war with a major power. And so there's quite a few of them. I don't think we should neglect these ones either, since those are our main domestic ones. But yeah, you got to get the Tsar in power. And increasing the stability and the political power gain would be incredibly helpful. Let me just see. I think this is going to end very soon. And if you're going to do this one, now is the time to do it. So I think we should wait and then do the 35-day focus while we have all those factories that need to be repaired. Because otherwise, it's kind of a wasted focus. Because when else are you going to have so many factories that you need to repair? And again, this conflict is going to be done here in mere moments. Also, not doing a focus for a few days gets us more political power, something we definitely need. Yeah, and it was just a few days, guys. All right, so we knocked out that conflict. Let's go ahead, seize control of that territory. And then we'll get this focus selected to rebuild the nation, 35 days, and then it'll help us to do those repairs. The 5 divisions that the Germans sent us are now returning back home. We need to get our Air Force taken care of. I moved all of the planes over here. You also got these planes here. Don't need to be flying overhead any longer. So we'll move them back to Moscow as well. And then we're just going to want to get these guys training if they need it. So just bring them all back over here. Man, it seems that one of those has not been set to the normal operations. We'll go ahead and do that. So we'll get them all going back. And let me take a look and see if the fleet has arrived in St. Petersburg. It has. Excellent. So I sent them all over here. Submarines are a little bit slower. But yeah, we're going to have them train up here if they need it. The destroyers, regardless if they need it or not, we're going to have them train. I like the light cruisers and the capital ships we will not train. And so these guys, let's have them train up. And then the submarines, once we get here, they'll have them train up too, to get us some naval experience. So we need to turn this up to speed 5, and we also need to set up our troops. Get them onto a front or something, and then have them train up if they need it. So as far as like fronts where we're going to need to defend, obviously we have this one over here, and might want to send like 1 division right there. And then we have the one against Poland. There's Finland and Romania. So let's go ahead and set those up. So the White Army will be on our main front here. the blue army here, let's send them. Well, we need to send some here, clearly. I might split these ones up to a degree. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Because you don't need 24 divisions on any of these locations. And then I'll rearrange these. Probably just do that off camera. Because we're not going to war just yet. We need to do a period of rebuilding. So I'll rearrange where all the divisions are at. Let's just get them moving somewhere so they're not just kind of sitting around. And then this army here would probably be the army that goes over into the Eastern Territory. And we'd want one here as well, and you probably need to send a couple divisions over there. A lot of these are cav units. I suppose we'll give them planning bonuses and stuff just in case war does break out. You never know. Let's make sure we get some planning bonuses on all these locations. Here and here. And then the last army, this one here, this will be the one we put in Finland. Or against Finland, I should say. Alright, so it looks pretty solid. We also have those 5 units currently training up. We could train more. I know we're short on the artillery. But yeah, I think that's fine. Obviously still kind of short on the tanks at the moment, and we need to change up those tank divisions as well and make many adjustments to units. We can get 5 more units here though. So we have plenty of manpower. Alright, so looking pretty solid there, and then we'll also want to have these guys train only as long as they need the experience. So let those guys train up, get to their new locations. And then let's go ahead and have, if we have any other strategic bombers, we'll have them combined with that air wing there. Seems that's a no. I thought we might have had one more. I could have swore we had like 16 somewhere. Maybe we do. Just take a look and see if I have any I'm not aware of. So we got these guys here. They can move to Moscow as well, and then we'll have them train up over there. And these guys will as well. So have them train up there. Pretty much all the units that we have here, if they need training, we'll have them do so. Now, some of these, like if it's like 6 air wings, you might as well just have them merge with another tactical bomber. Yeah, that's the only one that really needed it. Alright, so let's go and train all these up as well. Just up to the regular experience, because remember we have those huge penalties for the air accidents. And so that's going to be a real problem. Do we have any advisors we can get now that we actually want to get? Because I'd like to get more experience here. So there's none for the Chief of Air Force, but there are 2 for the Chief of Navy. They're just the specialists. That's the reason why we can get them. And so we probably wouldn't want to get either of these ones. I'd like to get carriers in this playthrough, guys. So you could justify getting him. The specialist, though, it's not great. So maybe you want to just get the decisive battle. And that's 100, and we wouldn't want to use that for the Navy. Not a lot of options available to us, guys. Particularly here with the political advisors. Not many choices. Due to all those purges. But remember, we have focuses that will grant us some new advisors. And when it comes to the military advisors, you can always appoint your commanders to those positions once they get to a high enough level. So we did get the artillery, excellent. Let's go ahead and go after. We still need to get the anti-air, of course. We should probably start working on the fleet. We don't have dockyards yet, though, so I mean, it's still good to get the research done. So I think we should invest a slot there if we want to be able to compete in the seas. We're a bit behind. We haven't researched anything so far when it comes to the fleet yet. And I'd like to get the carriers. And so we're looking at, you have 3 techs yet to get those 1940 carriers. We don't have the tech for the battleships yet either. So still would have to get that, plus all the stuff that you would need to support them. I do have the destroyer tech here, though, as well as the cruiser. Of course, we still need to get all the other stuff for them. Okay, so a lot of things you got to get, so therefore we should definitely start investing in this now. I suppose what we'll do is get, I mean, we don't have any dockyards yet, so that's something to keep in mind. We do have a few, I think like five dockyards. Let me just take a look here. Yeah, there's 6 currently. I found that I never have enough light cruisers, so we'll go ahead and start with that since we have the cruiser techs. We'll start getting the stuff for them. We'll get the armor, and we'll spend that experience to research it quicker. You can get that done in 18 days. And then as far as which of our different MIOs that we might want to make use of, I don't think any of these will provide bonuses specifically for carriers, but many of them do affect any capital ship. I think we should get the battle line shipbuilders boosted up as much as possible, since these would affect the battleships if we built those, as well as the cruisers. And I imagine some of these would affect all capital ships. Maybe not. And it looks like these are all, well, there's a capital ship one, but it's not going to help you much. Yeah, these are just for cruisers and battleships. So you're not going to get any bonus for the carriers. Well, that's fine. We have other ones we can get for the carriers, and frankly, what bonuses do you really need for carriers when you think about it? It's all that matters is their planes. So yeah, I guess we'll do this one, guys. I think that makes most sense. Now you could make the argument to use the Black Sea Fleet Designer for your capital ships, because all those bonuses are really nice. You just lose the max range, which maybe you don't need the range. A lot of times a fleet's range is reduced by just having destroyers in there, and so they can only go as far as their lowest range ship. And so capital ships have significantly more range than destroyers, although this does affect screens as well. But with your capital ships, that's not really the issue, having too low range. As long as you have destroyers in there, they're always going to be affected by those. I mean, it's really not a bad MIO, honestly. And plus you get that one that we've seen before with the other MIO, where you get that 10% research bonus. And so that's significant as well. Yeah, that's really not a bad one, guys. But we'll do this one here for right now, just to kind of boost those up, because you know, it takes forever to build the battleships, so getting the production bonuses for those would be helpful if we are in fact going to get battleships. I do like doing battleships, even if I'm doing a carrier fleet. Remember, you do have that battleship line to protect the carriers, or the capital ship line that needs to protect the carriers. So you don't just need screens, you also need other capital ships when you have a carrier fleet. We did finish up that rebuild the nation, so that's going to really help us for the construction there. This is a 70-day focus, so that would also boost construction speed, period, so not just for repairs like this one. So eventually we want to get it. I don't think there's any limits when you can do it, so we're not going to do it right now, guys, because I want to get this one done. 70 days to knock that out. We need to return the Tsar to power. We got the Anglo-Italian alliance. Okay, very interesting. So the Italians, despite the fact that they're not fascist anymore, are now in the Allies, and so they're going to get pulled into this war with France. Yeah, that's a very interesting development, because I thought if Italy went anywhere, which they might have just had their own faction, you know, since they're trying to reform the Roman Empire, I thought if they went into any faction, it'd be the Central Powers. But instead they're joining the Allies. Now that could change, because there are some focuses that like force the AI to change up their situation with the factions. So maybe they get put in the Central Powers, but I would not be surprised if they stay in the Allies, especially once the war starts up here between Italy and France. Alright, so things are really starting to develop here. I just want to see if the Americans have joined any factions. It does look like the Confederacy might do very well now. They often lose or at least struggle in the Civil War, but with the United States at war with Britain, they've got other fronts they have to fight on. Now we got our own event here. The Kingdom of Denmark seeks an alliance. So Christian X of the Kingdom of Denmark has approached us with an offer to join forces, claiming that if we were to stand together, we could rival even the great powers of the world. What say we? So we say very well, we accept. This will grant us 50 political power and also some war support. The Kingdom of Denmark will create this faction, which is the Nordic Cooperation Alliance, and then we will join that faction. Or we say that something smells fishy here. Well, we know that they probably want to make use of us for the conquest of Sweden and Norway. I assume that's what they're doing here. I actually don't have any problem with forming an alliance with Denmark. I am worried that it's going to drag us into other conflicts, though. But of course, we can always leave it. The biggest issue, though, is I don't really want our faction to be called the Nordic Cooperation Alliance. Because again, while we can seize control of the faction, I'm not entirely sure if we can rename it. I don't recall if we can rename factions once they've been created. I know you can name them when you create them, but after they're already created, I don't recall if you can rename them. And so it might just be stuck as the Nordic Cooperation Alliance. What I would prefer to do, guys, is to go ahead and create our own faction eventually, and then we would just ask Denmark to join that faction. I think that's the better route to go. And this also creates the faction for them. I don't know if we turn them down if they'll be able to create the faction. So we're going to turn them down now and just see what happens there, guys. But yeah, we don't want to get pulled into that conflict anyways. We can now start getting these doctrines here. We won't. Obviously, we have other things we want to use our army experience for. We're just waiting to get to 65, and then we're going to change up our doctrines. We got the Concentrated Industry 3. Right, excellent. Let's go ahead and continue with the industrial techs, getting the Construction 3 next. So this is the banned democratic parties and the improved worker conditions. Something we might want to do eventually, but stability is pretty high right now. And political power is short, so we're not going to do that just now. The political advisors are 150. And this is a helpful character here eventually, but yeah, not something we need at the moment. This guy's also pretty good. It's going to hit you on the political power and stability, though, while giving you bonuses for combat. And so definitely not something you want to do here at peace. I think we really should probably focus on the military staff here, specifically the ones that are going to get us experience. So probably want to get our Chief of Air Force next. Though, if we want to get Alexander Novikov, he's a genius, and so costs 200 political power, so pretty expensive. But you do spend the least amount of command power on him, and this would tick up air experience very rapidly. So might be the one that we want to get. Got 2 all-weather experts here. Got an air reformer as well, but he's not as good as the genius, so obviously you don't want to get him. But damn, saving up the 200 political power is going to take some time. Might be what we have to do here, guys. Just make sure there's no particular decisions that we want to take, which there's not. I think that's what we're going to do. Let's save up the political power and get the genius air reformer so we can try and tick up our air experience. We're going to be hitting 1940. We're going to need to design planes. We want to get through the air doctrine trees as well. So having him would be incredibly helpful. So we got that armor very quickly since we're able to use the experience, but we don't have enough experience now. Got the fleets all training up over here, but we haven't trained these guys yet, so we're going to set them up to train, and that'll speed up this process a little bit faster. But yeah, we don't have the experience to invest in the next one, so we'll wait till we have that so we can speed that up. That's a significant bonus there. Same thing here with the depth charge throwers. Pretty much anything that requires us, or gives us the option, I should say, to use experience to speed it up, I think we should. So might want to get a hull instead, like the battleship hull or even the carrier hull. Though the carrier hull is going to take a lot longer, 149 days to get that done. So might want to do the battleship first then in that case. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do, guys. Now we do still need all this stuff for him too. But yeah, let's get the battleship one. And we'll use the battle line shipbuilders here as well. Speed it up to 102 days. So just trying to get as much experience for our MIOs as we can. And yeah, it's going to take us a while to get that 200 political power. As you can see, we have all these penalties here. We do have some bonuses as well with the stability and that new old church, but yeah, there's a lot of penalties there. Had to pause for a minute because I had a plane going overhead. Let's just go and say we don't need to be notified of any of these. So they stop popping up there. So yeah, the Italians are now in the war against France. New Zealand just declared independence though. Canada has joined the Allies as well. Canada declares independence at the same time, though. South Africa's joined those allies. But Canada likely will be conquered soon, since the Americans are invading into them. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on now, guys. But we'll just have to see what happens with France, since they now have to fight the Italians. And the British will likely pump troops over to here. Yeah, we'll just have to see. Oh, yes, we did finish up this research, so let's go ahead and select the next tech, which would probably be the support companies. Yeah, probably the support companies. Or we could even invest further into the ships to try and get them done a little bit quicker. But I think we should try and work on these support companies, like the engineer company. Don't want to fall behind there. Alright, so it looks like we've done those repairs. That national spirit probably helped quite a bit on getting that finished up. And we need dockyards, guys. While we have, you know, a decent number of civilian factories, and military factories, you always need more of those, but we got a decent number of those too. The dockyards, we have so few of these. And so I think this is really what we need to be investing in. And we're going to want to do in this 80% location here, probably build quite a few of these. Yeah, we'll get like 5 dockyards in St. Petersburg. And that'll get us up to 11. So maybe build one more down here on the Black Sea. We'll do it in Crimea there. And we have 4 full lines of civilian factories here. All right, so not bad at all. So at that point, we'll just go ahead and start getting more military factories. Always need those. We'll also need to take a look at our supply network and get radar stations. But all that can wait. So we're going to want to build in these 80% locations for the military factories, guys. And we're not going to sit here and repair these. We'll let them repair on their own at this point. I think we did pretty good. Maybe get this guy done. I think we've done a pretty good job getting all that repaired up. So we're just going to work on building military factories now across our territory. Again, just focusing on those 80% locations. All right, so that looks pretty good. We'll do that one as well. We also might want to take a look at infrastructure. For resources, as of right now, we're doing good. It's just the rubber, which we don't have access to. So we just need to trade for that. Eventually, we'll start running low on some of these other resources. So we'll need to take care of that. We do have the army experience now to go ahead and change up our doctrines. Because I don't think mass assault is a very good doctrine. It's okay. Sometimes I go with it for like roleplay purposes. But we are not going to be going with it in this playthrough. I think there's far better options for us. And I think we're going to do the superior firepower in this particular case. You can also make the argument to go with the mobile warfare doctrine. I do really like that one. But we're going to do superior firepower. This is my favorite of the doctrine cheese. And we went with mobile warfare in our last campaign as Sweden. So we're going to do this one here. So switch over to that. And then that will change up the national spirits that we have available here. And so we'll probably want to use our next batch of experience here. Could also start making adjustments for our troops, our division designs. There are quite a few things I'd like to change there. Australia declared independence. So they're all independent, but many of them are still in the Allies. So New Zealand and Australia are not in the Allies, but South Africa, Canada, and perhaps the British Raj, are still in the Allies. They're not independent though. So we did get the railway guns, and we're going to start building those now. We'll invest some factories into them. We also want to get something else researching. So we do need to get the anti-air. We're going to get some anti-tanks too. Let's go ahead and actually get that now. And then we will get these railway guns constructing. And invest some factories into those. Yeah, we don't really need a lot of trains. We'll build a little bit. But all of our factories that we get will go into that. We have a lot of trucks, but I think we'll need those. And then same with support equipment. I don't think we need to pull any of the factories. I think the situation is pretty good here. We'll just let that fill up as we build these military factories. India just joined the Allies as well. We were just looking at them. And then we also got a trait for the tank refurbishment plant. So they're the ones that are having the most success here, getting traits. This is already number 4. And we're going to go for that production output cost. So that's pretty helpful for us to get done. And India declared independence as well. Yet they're still in the Allies and in this conflict with France and the United States. So I wonder if France and America will form a faction, since they're both going communist. And they're currently 49% communist. And so yeah, I would assume with them both being on War Britain that they're going to join together. Yeah, that would make sense. Turkey delivers an investment portfolio. We've seen these events before. So you say, if it is aid they need, then is aid they shall have. And I think those gives us some decisions. So we can go ahead and do that and take a look at them. I don't know if we'll actually want to do them or not, because they cost political power. And I don't know that we want to invest in Turkey. But yeah, I didn't see any reason not to go with that option. We don't know what the future will bring, how things may change up. So we do need to get these guys deployed. So we're just going to deploy them all. Did we want to build some more though? Let's go and put these guys in a little training army over here. And let them train up, and then we'll kind of move them around where we need them. More units. Do we want to build more units? We do need to keep some training going, so why not? Tanks, we almost have enough here. So we'll get a couple tank units, and then we'll do some more infantry. How much infantry equipment do these each take? 900. Okay, so we could do like another 10 units then. Got plenty of manpower. Remember, Russia, so manpower is not going to be an issue for us. We're only on volunteer. 7 more days to get this focus completed. And that'll probably be the last thing we do in today's episode, is pick the next focus. And I suppose we'll also be spending our political power. Alright, so we got the event Return of the Tsar. The injustice visited upon our nation decades ago has now at last been undone. In a befittingly grand and pompous ceremony within the Dormition Cathedral, Grand Duke Vladimir Kirillovich was crowned Tsar Vladimir I, to the unbridled elation of the crowds. From here, the Tsar made it his first act to lead a procession out from the gates of the Kremlin, greeting the jubilant masses and attending the impressive military marches in his honor personally. Alright, so we get the point. He's going to make this big old speech. And it's just absolutely glorious as we change colors to the Russian green. And we are now known as Russia. We are not the Russian Empire. Some people have issues with that. That should be named the Russian Empire. Also, the flag here, not really the best flag either, but that's what they went with. Now, he does have a trait, Vladimir III, Emperor and Autocrat of all Russia. That grants a few different bonuses like war support, and required garrisons are less. So it's an okay one. Not the best traits, but certainly not a penalty. So now we have these two mutually exclusive directions. This is the fascist one, to dismantle the Zemsky's War. Obviously, we're not going to do that one. We're going to be going with the Romanov Reconstruction here. So the first one's going to grant us a plus 15% political power gain and some increased stability as well. It's a 70-day focus. But again, we have all these other things we need to do. So something to consider. Now, we do want that political power, so we're probably going to get this one here. And that's a 730-day bonus, so very nice. This moves your capital to St. Petersburg, regardless of the decision you made in that previous event. Grant some nice bonuses for St. Petersburg. 2 civilian factories, and then yeah, you get local construction speed bonus. Probably not going to go for that one. Just looking to see if any of these are something we have to go for before we change directions. Honest serfdom, that's recruitable population. I mean, this one looks like it's nice to have. This is the one I told you guys about where you get some bonuses to the super heavy tank. So that's nice. So eventually want to get that. My brother's keeper grants us some war goals against countries we used to have dynastic ties to. You can try and reforge the triple entente. That's unfortunate that you have to get this one to go for this one because we don't actually want to do this one here. Yeah, we do not want to ally with Britain and France. Now, France will eventually be communist, and so you wouldn't be able to do it anyways. I'm not sure if it would get bypassed. Let me just take a look. Looks like there's two ways this can be bypassed. Either going to war with Britain or France, or if Britain and France are in a faction and are not the faction leader. Now, the British are in the Allies, and they do lead that faction, so that won't apply there. But France, on the other hand, let's say they joined a faction with the Americans and were not the faction leader, then that would bypass it. I hope it gets bypassed so we can do the Slavic commitments, because that's one we definitely want to do. Don't have to get that to get to this route. These are all war goals against different countries that help us expand. So some nice bonuses, but I think the point here is that we really don't have to get any of these right now, with the exception of this one, because I think it would be pretty useful. And so what we're going to do is we're going to get this one here, and then after that, we'll change directions, because we got a lot of stuff we need to work on, particularly improving our military with all these focuses, and getting these ones too, since remember, these have to be done before we go to war with a major power. Let me just see how far. Okay, so yeah, you got to get through these ones here. Are these 35-day focuses? Some of them are, but most of them are 70 days. It's going to take you a while to get through all those. So I should probably work on those first. So we'll go ahead and get the Romanov reconstruction, and we do have that political power. I did forget that we are waiting to get to 200 to get the air reformer. Remember, we did get a couple other options available for the political advisors, but I don't think we're going to want to do either one of these, because he increases fascist support, and this character, while he does increase support for unaligned, you'll see communist support goes up too. Now, the support for unaligned is so high that eventually what will happen is the communist support will tick down the democratic and the fascist, but once those are gone, then the communist support would start to decline in favor of the non-aligned. But the main issue here is that weekly stability goes down. So you get the bonus for political power, but it reduces your stability, and stability affects political power, so it kind of just cancels itself out, and it's just mostly a penalty. So I don't think we're going to go for that. Non-aligned support is already gone up on its own. So I don't think we're going to go for any of these characters right now. We'll get our Chief of Air Force, and then probably get the Chief of Navy next, or maybe the Theorist. Yeah, we'll have to see. But that's going to have to be the end of today's episode. I will rearrange our troops, kind of get them set up based on their composition, determine where they would best be at. Now, given, we might move these around further just based on who we declare war on, but we're going to have a period of peace after fighting that civil war to recover and to get through our focus tree. And most importantly, get those one focuses done, because once you go to war with the major power, you won't be able to do it. And so we want to get the 5-year plan focuses knocked out. And just kind of watch the world at war, see how things develop, how the factions emerge. So yeah, we'll be focusing on rebuilding, guys. So yeah, I'll move all these units around for the next episode. Hope you guys did enjoy today's video. If you did, make sure you have a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. Do hope to see you on the next one, and thanks for watching.